Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Behind the Group podcast. I am DJ Keo.
And I am Basil Barrington, and we are back with another classic film review. We said we were going to come to you every week with the classic film review, and this is what we're doing. Today, we're going to talk about The Blob. This is a 1958, the original joint,
Yeah,
1958.
the original.
It's
Because they made
available
another
on.
one in the 80s, and it
Yeah,
was it was
I saw
silly.
that in the theater, yo. It was
Yeah.
crazy. It was like, you know what, in the theater, it was just like a bunch of like what year was that? I can't remember.
It's
Like
like 80 something. Was it in 3D? I can't remember. I
oh
think it
yeah,
was in
we had the
3D.
glasses for real. That's true, right? But I remember like
Yeah.
just a bunch of like kids in the theater. Everyone like cut school and like checked
Mm,
out this film, right? But this is the
yeah.
original joint. This felt like a little drive-in sort of movie, huh?
Yeah, it's 100% driving movie. And
This
the premise is silly. And that's why it's the perfect drive-in movie. Because
right.
back then, the scientific anything, they're like, "We're gonna do a thing. It's about a blob. All right, let's go. Sign me up." Got
You said
Steve
it's about a
McQueen in
blob.
this thing.
It's literally
That's the
about
thing.
a blob.
They wrote the thing on a piece of paper. It's about a blob. Get
Mhm.
some A-list actors. Steve McQueen is in this movie acting his butt off to pretend
Mm.
like he's a teenager. Hilarious. Everybody in this movie looks so old. The
Yeah.
kids look old. The adults look old.
They were
Everybody's
like,
old in this
there was only
movie.
one kid in the film, and that was like his girlfriend's son. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah. That
like
kid's like, I think his
brother.
brother.
Yeah, his
Yeah,
brother. Hmm.
that kid's like 5. Everybody else is 35 in this
That's it.
movie,
You
and
know,
they're pretending like we going drag racing in our in Coupe de Ville. Where
but
you guys get coupes, bro?
yo, but like you know how I always say, like when you're in a film and something is going on and people are running, but people are like running like they pooped in their pants. You
Yeah,
check out the run scenes in this joint, like when they
people
were running
got
from the
hurt.
theater, dude.
People got hurt filming this thing.
They were like,
There's a girl. You watch this movie, slow it down at the very beginning. There's a girl that gets flipped on her head and
yeah,
then
I saw
stomped
that.
on. And
Yep.
I was like,
But
"Oh,
you know what?
this is not into
She got
me."
her 50 cents to
Right?
be an extra though, because I bet you that's what they
Bro,
paid you back then in 50, 50 cents
some
or
guy
something like
put some
that.
combat. Somebody put some combat boots on, stomped on her head, trying to get out the theater.
And
It was insanity.
when she flipped over and came got her wits about herself. you can
Dude, them
tell she,
running.
you can tell she was like kind of dizzy because she was like I was like,
Yo, that them running out of the
dude.
theater, that was 100% real. They're like, they yell fire in there and then roll tape and then say nothing. People, they acted like this was for real. Because that was not acting. I'll tell you that much. It was not acting. The way they were running
Dude,
out,
I
they thought
mean,
something was in that theater.
and just the way when I'm checking out the film and I'm like, dude, did we talk like that back in the day to each other? Just like, that sort of
I don't think
weirdly,
so. I
it's
don't
just
think
like
so.
that was weird. It's just like this is how people spoke back in the day. I'm like, I don't know about that.
I
You
I
know
gotta
what I
talk to my dad about this, man, but I don't think people talk like that. I gotta be
you know
honest.
you know what? As I was watching this film, I was like, dude, you know what? This entire film was shot inside of a warehouse.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%
come on,
soundstage.
right?
Everything's
It was
soundstage.
just like, wait a minute, this is like I don't understand this. It's like, okay, that's just a built home. Even so, check this out. when,
Mhm.
when the blob was like next to the diner,
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, he looks so
that was a
cheap.
piece of like cardboard with the painting of a diner on it. And I was just like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, this joint here. I mean, I can't imagine. I don't even know how much this film cost. I'm not even gonna look, dude, but I can't imagine
Dude,
this film
this
being more than like a
film
million dollars.
cost no, this film cost a couple bottle caps. That's what this film cost. It was cheap.
Trade in,
It was cheap. Yeah, yeah.
for
They
real.
got some baseball cards and some bottle caps. They're like, "Yo, make a movie, son." Like, it's what this was. It was super cheap. The special effects are ridiculous. Everything was basically 4 stages or like 4 scenes.
That's
Like
it.
it's
Yeah.
pretty simple.
The police
The
station, right?
store, the
The
police
doctor's
station,
office,
the
the
doctor's
diner,
office, the diner,
in an
everything was
old
pretty much.
man's house with the dog who got like, Swiss cheese
Yeah,
by the blob.
it was tight. Like,
How
the
stupid
amount
is
of stuff
that?
they shot.
How stupid is that? So check it out. Okay. Something from
Mhm,
outer space lands, right?
mhm.
You're like, yo, you got your little lantern, you go out like in the forest and you see this joint.
Mhm.
You've never seen anything like this before. Dude, it created a crater, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What does this guy do? And like, okay, what does he do? Right? He like he's investigating, like, oh, this is kind of weird. What's going on? He gets a
Mhm.
stick, which is like conveniently right next to him, right? And he touches it.
Look at it.
Then what he does is he pokes, like it opens up, and then he pokes the stick into the blob, and then he picks
Mhm.
it back out, and then
When he did
that's what
this and it fell in his
happens.
hand, I was like, "You deserve that.
Right.
You
He's
deserve
just like,
everything that happens to you. You dummy."
I was just like, oh my goodness, dude. Let me tell you what I would have done, because I think it's important that people know what I would have done in a situation like that.
Yeah.
First of
Yeah.
all, first and foremost, I don't think I'd be living like in a deep forest like that, Like I was just like, where are the
Has
roads,
a
right?
pass.
Like,
Has a pass.
secondly, when I like heard that something came down from the sky and created a crater, I'm like, dude, get the dog, get the truck, I'm out of here. Let the police know I'm not going back to the crib until they let me know what's going on. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
investigating. I'm not like poking it. I'm like, if I see it, I'm like, dude, this is weird. I'm out of here.
Mhm.
So it's
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
lot of different ways that, people, when you look at these films, it's just like, well, I don't think people would do that today. I don't think anyone would do something like that today.
Everyone would have a cell phone out filming it, but they wouldn't touch it. Like, here's
Right.
the thing.
Send it to
Nobody's gonna
like
actually touch it.
send it to like a news channel or something like that. Look what I saw. It's just like when they take,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
video footage of like all the crazy drones like all over the country now. It's just like,
Mhm.
yeah, don't like, try and,
Like,
use,
don't
yeah, forget all
That's
that.
why
Hmm.
I love watching these classic movies because a lot of these things could have been solved if they had cell phones back in the day. You know what I'm saying? You had to take pictures, you got footage. Like, this is 4K. Look at this police officer. Like, look at that. Like, they're gonna take his word for it. This little kid's a liar. We're gonna take his word for it. We can't visually see anything that he says is happening. Everybody out with their phone like this, filming. Everybody. Like, you couldn't find somebody that didn't get footage of it 18 different angles, some in slow motion, cinematography with their cell phone filming this stuff. So like I love that aspect of these old movies because it would be impossible for people not to know something happened and not have proof. That's the first thing. The
Hmm.
second thing I loved about the old movies is
Hmm.
they were like, hey, we got 5 minutes. Let's wrap this movie up.
Yeah.
We're done here.
Hmm.
Conclusion. 5 minute conclusion. How do you think? Have you seen the World of Worlds with Steven Spielberg and
Yes.
Tom Cruise?
Hmm.
They ended that movie in 5 minutes. Like his movie's going long, 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 long. 5 minutes. It's the cold. The common cold killed all the aliens. That's the end. This is
Excuse
exactly
me.
what this movie is.
Hmm.
We're like CO2, cold stuff, kills the alien. The end. The American soldiers come down there and pick the blob up, throw it into Arctic. The end. They were like, they wrapped this thing because I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, yo, where did I solve this? There's like 5 minutes left of this movie. Oh no, they did. Got right to it. This is how you fix it, everybody. Everybody's safe. Relax.
Go back home,
Go back
kids.
to
The
yeah,
whole
go back
nine. Then
home.
go back to the theater. What was really the other really cool thing about this film is this here, right? A couple things,
Mm,
right? One, the police. There was only three police in this whole town, whatever it was, right? And
yeah, yeah, it's small.
they all like they you could just tell they had a relationship with the community, right? And I was just like,
Mm,
and it reminded me of like when I was growing up, how you would always see like police just walking around, right? And then those would and you would see the same police walking around in your neighborhood. It was like police just walking around the city, just keeping it safe. And they knew
mm.
you and you knew them and they knew your name and they knew your family and the whole nine, right? So that was kind of
Oh yeah.
interesting. The other thing that was interesting about this is, okay, so they have the blob and
Hmm.
they're like, hey, you know what? Well, they kept shooting it, right? And the weird thing about these guns is you didn't see smoke coming out these guns after they were shot, right? It was just like, pew, you just heard a
Make some
sound, right?
noise. Yeah, your
Right.
noise.
So,
That's it.
and so they were just like, okay, well, how do we kill it? So, when him and his girlfriend went into like this freezer, which was the dumbest way to get rid, you're trying to escape. You walk into a freezer. with like
Yeah.
summer clothes on. You know what I'm saying? That's like you might as well just walk into a freezer with like a bikini, a bikini on, dude. I mean, this is in a bathing suit.
Yeah,
This is a
yeah.
speedo. You know, it's the same thing. How goofy is that, right?
Mhm,
So, but they
mhm.
were like, hey, it's like it's the code, right? So they were like, oh, so everyone in town, right? This is the
Yeah.
community. There was like a lot of community in this movie, right? The
Oh,
community
yeah.
got together and they were like, go get all of the CO2 um, fire
Mhm.
extinguishers. So the
Yeah.
entire town was involved.
They
They got
broke into
fire
the
extinguishers.
school. I laughed for 5 minutes
Right,
when they broke into the school.
exactly, right.
That guy picked up a rock. I was like, "Get in there, kids!" Like,
Exactly. And then they came and they were like using these fire extinguishers on like the
Mhm.
blob. That's two, right? The third
Yeah.
thing is
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
right? So once they figured out that, they just needed like a lot of like, you need this joint needed to be someplace cold, right? The
Mhm.
police called up the military. So I guess he has like the red phone number, the red phone number. He called up the
Yeah,
police
yeah.
and he was like, I mean, the military, and he was just like basically the government. It's like, hey, this is what we need, man, and dude, the government the next day, the government came, the federal
Literally the next
government
day.
came
I ain't
and
never seen
picked
that
up
in my life.
exactly. They came and like, scooped up the blob and dropped it
Mhm.
off in the Antarctic, right? And so that was really interesting. Like, wow, you mean you called up the federal government and they actually did something in like less than 24 hours? I'm like,
Yeah, it's
so
crazy.
that was like, again, think about those three things and think about where we are today, right?
Mhm.
But think about those three things: police, community, right? Like the community getting together to actually like get rid of something, right? Defeat
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
right? Just coming together to do something, right? And then the federal government also doing this part, right? All of those things like into this movie, and I was like, wow, that was kind of impressive. I don't know if that was a message they were trying to like get across, but that
Yeah.
was the message I got from it. What do you think?
No, no, that's a good point of how
Hmm.
efficient the government is in small towns for some reason.
Hmm.
In 1960, 1968, whatever it was.
It was different
I
like 30,
Yeah,
40,
yeah, no,
50,
it's
60 years
different.
ago,
It was it was very different. I
Yeah.
was not alive during this, so that's not
Hmm.
been my interpretation of
Yeah,
what
I don't need,
happens.
yeah, for
But, like, I
real.
lived in the Midwest, man. I'm a Midwest boy, and, like, that was not how that worked out, you know?
Mhm.
That did not work out. But, like, I liked the idea that, like you said before, like, I remember who the police officer was. Like, teachers know everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody goes to the same church kind of thing. Like it's very community oriented back in the
Mm,
day,
yeah.
and yeah, I think that was good. That's a good aspect. Like it's heartwarming, even though these guys are drag racing and doing stuff with their girlfriend. He took her up to the peak. He's trying to he's trying to make a move on his
Trying to
girl
get
at the
some
beginning of the
yummy
movie.
cakes.
I laughed for 5 minutes. Like I laughed. I thought that was hilarious. This guy got no game. You have no game, bro.
No, this
And
is
she was
Steve
like, "Hey, I feel
McQueen.
uncomfortable." Like,
You know,
yo.
yeah, and the other thing about this film, right, and also really a lot of classic films we've been watching, right,
Mhm.
dude, they didn't mess around with nudity or anything like that. All you had was like the kissing, and the kissing was just like two lips coming together, no tongue, nothing like that,
They
no
they
moving,
cut
mouth
that
wasn't
scene
open.
right after that. They went like this,
Exactly.
boop, scene cut.
Done,
They was
right?
like, "Poof,
And the
get outta
other
here."
thing is the kissing angles are never like dead on. They're always like, to the
Mhm,
side, like maybe 20 or 30 degrees off to the
mhm,
left or right, and you just never see the two lips touching each other. And I'm just like, dude, it's a little different how things were like filmed back in the day. You didn't see all that craziness, all the stuff you see today.
mhm,
So I definitely thought and felt like this film was something that you would see at a drive. And I remember like we lived in this my grandfather owned like a lot of real estate and he lived in this apartment. He owned this
mhm,
apartment building. And you can go up on the roof of this apartment building and look
mhm,
like, maybe 5 miles away on a clear day, on a clear night, and you can see
mhm.
the drive-in theater. So you can go up there and watch the like movies, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
like, and they used to, in this drive-in theater, they used to have like classic films on like Friday nights at midnight, right? And I was like too young to
Mhm.
go to them, but and I was just like, wow, this is crazy. This is a film that you would see at a drive-in theater.
This is a light grindhouse movie.
Hmm.
The Quentin Tarantino vibe, like it's a very light classical version of this, where it's nice and peaceful, simple resolution. People died off camera that you didn't really know about or care, and like the couple wins in the end, and this is it's like nice, like everybody's happy. It's a happy ending, even though the cops said 40 people died. It was a massacre, but you didn't really see or know about, and
Hmm.
you still got to you had a good feelings after you get a milkshake and you enjoy the rest of your day. That's what this movie is. It was not scary at all. Like
No.
there wasn't even kind of like, oh, this is kind of freaky. Like, no, there's nothing. There's nothing. It was as straightforward as you can get for 1958, 1960 something. I think yes, 58. Yeah, like it is as straightforward as possible. Nice, peaceful, and you got to believe the boys when they tell you that the monsters killing everybody. You got to believe them sometimes.
Because the
Like
cops
that's basically
know
what it
him
is.
personally. You know what I'm saying? It's like he's
That
a good
helps.
kid. He's a good kid. You know
That
what I'm
helps.
saying?
That helps. That
He
helps
looked
because
like
you're like,
he really looked old
I don't
though,
believe
right? As a teenager, huh? Steve
Steve
McQueen.
McQueen looks like he's 35 years old playing a 16-year-old. That's what
Yeah,
that
that
looks
was
like.
wild, dude, wasn't it?
Bro, I laugh because you're like, you got the mannerisms of a kid. You do not. You do not have the mannerisms of a kid.
Mhm.
You got mannerisms of somebody in the middle age. That's what that is. Like you're just an old dude trying to talk to girls. Like even the girl look old. Like everybody look old. I don't know anybody. Like the kid is the only young person in this set.
That's it. Like, the brother. That's it. Let me ask you this here, right? Okay,
Mm,
so now that we've been like watching these classic films, right?
mm.
Um you can't really, I mean, again, we're watching all this newfangled stuff right now. It's just like digital, it's just like 3D, 8D, 4K, 8K, all this sort of stuff, right? So you really
Mm.
I'm wondering, like, can you just really like be judgy like on an old film? Because I mean
Special
something like from the
effects? No, no,
50s
no.
and 40 and like 30s, right? Can you just say something
Yeah,
completely sucks, or can you just look at it and say, oh, I see what this film is trying to convey, or it's
yeah.
pretty good to watch. I mean, what do you think about that? Which could you actually say this film
Well,
completely sucked from 58 or from the 50s or
no,
something
because
like
the other
that?
thing is that wasn't these movies in black and white back in the day? I'm pretty sure
Black
this
and
movie
white.
was black and white. They made it color, but like it was harder to see a lot of stuff when it was black and white.
Hmm.
It's harder to tell things when you make it color. Like it's more obvious because
Hmm.
everything just makes it brighter.
Hmm.
But the special effects here was awful. Like it's really bad. Like it was very bad. You can't defend it. It's
Yeah.
very bad. But it's fun. When the drag racers are sitting on top of their cars talking, I laugh for minutes. I think it's hilarious.
No
I
fighting,
it's
right?
the
No fighting,
Fast
just
and
like, hey,
Furious.
yeah.
We're just gonna race. We're gonna take your car from you and diss your girl. Like we ain't do
They
none
knew
of
each
that.
other.
Just gonna
Yeah.
make fun of you. Yeah, it's just slight teasing. Like it's ridiculous on its face, but like it's
Mhm.
lighthearted teasing. It's very straightforward, and sometimes you need to watch a couple of these to get as a palate cleanser. You feel better about yourself.
Oh, dude, I'm so glad you brought that up because I was about to say that, you know what? These like
Mm.
classic films, they're kind of refreshing because it's almost like, you can watch these joints and just like get away. It's almost like,
Yeah, yeah.
just putting down digital for like a day or something like that. You're just cleansing yourself. It's almost like I like it when, the new series of Frasier is on, right? And it's just like, it's so
Mm.
refreshing because it just takes you away from all this other craziness. And so when you're watching these classic films in their horror and their sci-fi and with drama and
Mm.
all this thrill and everything else, that's what people were watching back then. And I think
Yeah,
this
yeah.
film had a message. I don't even think it was about like a horror or just like a blob, which was like real
The
silly on
message
his
of
face, right?
friendship,
Yeah,
trust the community. There's a friendship. Like here's
right.
what it was.
Yeah,
Just silliness.
just silliness. It was complete silly film, and it's like, and the reason why I say it should
Mhm.
be in a drive-in because when you're in a drive-in, you're not really watching a film, right?
That's that's
You're
true.
doing other
For
stuff.
that's been my
You're
experience.
bugging out with your
I've been to a couple
boys. You got
drive-ins.
the
Yeah,
bunny in the back. You know what I'm saying? I mean, whatever. Whatever
yeah.
you do at the
That's
drive-in. You know,
that's what the point of
for
the drive-in
real.
is. I've been to a
Yeah.
couple. Like, it's not about the movie.
Yeah, you know,
Movie's
but
just there.
the movie's just
It's
there.
original Netflix and chill, right?
Yeah, for real, man. We are talking about The Blob from 1958. Keo, what do you think about this film? What are you going to rate this film?
I give it a 7. It's lighthearted, silly fun with terrible special effects that's so dated it's ridiculous. But it's silly, and you get to see Steve McQueen acting his butt off trying to pretend like he's 15, and it's good stuff, man.
Wow.
It's good stuff. It's a lighthearted, fun movie. I liked it. I thought it was corny as hell. It's so much stuff is so silly, ridiculous. Like he's trying to make out with his girlfriend on the mountaintop to see the moon. And like all that stuff is hilarious. The drag racing with the other guys who don't turn out to be bad at all. They're just misunderstood. And then the
They're
police
cool
officers
guys.
listening to everybody. Yeah, everybody's cool. The escape from the diner at the end of the movie, like everything's just silly.
Mhm.
It's just absolute silliness. The best part about this for me is that in 1958, people left this theater crying, trying to figure out what they're going to do with their life. That's the best part about this.
You
It
know
was
what I'm
serious
saying?
times when this movie came out.
Man, come on.
That's what's
You
the
know what
funny
I'm
part
saying?
about it.
Crazy. You know what? I am going to give this film a 7 as well. This joint was like just super
Mhm.
corny. I mean, and like I said, it looks like it was shot in a warehouse. You had like 4 or 5 sets. That was it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was shot inside, obviously, because I mean, if you look at all of the scenes, there was really no daylight in any of the scenes.
Mhm.
Did you recall that? It's just like there's no daylight in
No,
any
no.
of these scenes. You know what
It's
I'm
very
saying?
straightforward. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like this was shot
Yeah.
indoors. You know what I'm saying? So but
Mhm.
I'm giving it a 7 as well because I think this film has a message, and I think that people should watch it and try to figure that message out. There is a message in this film, and I think I got that
Mhm.
message. You know, so I'm giving
Yeah.
it a
Yeah.
7. We're both giving it a 7. Go check it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there you have it. Thanks for checking out another episode of the Behind the Groove podcast. I am Basil Barrington.
I am DJ Keo.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And until next time, peace.
All right.